Alright, here's a quick way to get past the gate. First, we gotta scatter them like cockroaches. See you in hell. Alright, plan B. Hey, does Stalker Shadow Chernobyl suck? This is a tough one because I can actually deal with its problems. I even kind of got into it again while capturing video, but objectively, I just can't recommend this game to anyone except the most hardcore survival first person shooter fans who also like to mod their games. And my reasoning is really simple. The game just has way too much jank and instability to overlook to get to the fun parts. And I just don't think that someone should have to work as hard as they have to make the game fun. And yes, I know that many of its problems can be solved with mods, and that's really a good thing. With mods, you can turn it into almost anything you want. And if you want to play it, you should mod it and make it more enjoyable overall. Get involved in the communities and all that stuff. If you don't want to mod it, though, I would suggest you move on to another game in the series. Oh, and skip this one too. That should make the choice a lot easier. For the unaware, Stalker is an open world survival, sometimes horror, first person shooter that takes place in a fictionalized, mutant, and artifact infested version of the Chernobyl exclusion zone. It is a really strong game concept that can go in a ton of different directions. Its atmosphere is incredible. It can be so spooky, especially in some of the underground labs. I love those. And I need to reiterate that it can be a lot of fun collecting weapons, killing mutants, and just surviving in a really hostile place. However, I do have to admit that it has some big problems with its mission structure, open world pacing, and just general bugginess. Think back to a game with an open world. You get a quest or a mission or whatever, you go off, complete it, and return to find your mission giver dead. In most games, that would signal the start of a continuation of the mission, like some twist to make things more interesting. In Stalker, it means that you need to reload your last save because the world managed to kill the character and both the mission and any rewards are now locked forever. To add insult to injury, the mission and the waypoint will just stay on your mission list, haunting you, insulting you for 24 hours. Or maybe you get a mission to kill a pack of monsters or bandits, and after showing up at the intended location, they just won't be there because some group caused them to move. A nice bit of realism, but it can be a bit jarring for a new player. Imagine again a mission alongside NPC characters, some that might have their own dialogue and mission trees. You're assaulting a base and they die. In other games, they would just fall to the ground and get up when the mission completes. In Stalker, they're dead and you lose access to everything associated with them. Once again, a nice realistic touch, but you'll probably want to reload. After playing for a while, you'll discover that fighting everything on your own and then starting the mission after is truly the best option when you can if you want to see all the game has to offer and collect all your rewards. And this isn't a deal killer when you're used to it, but as a newcomer, you won't really know who is important, who you can let die, or even that you need to save all the time to make sure that the game doesn't screw you out of something, and it can be very frustrating. Once it is clear how to easily move around the zone and you're free to do as you please, the game becomes a lot more engaging. You'll find yourself exploring Soviet-era facilities, collecting all kinds of items and weapons, and fighting who you want. The problem is that this takes a while and is sort of gated by parts of the main mission. I say sort of because if you get creative, you can get almost anywhere. But if you actually want to experience the game or are new to it, you'll probably be more compelled to follow the game's suggestions. And the main mission has many, many parts that I don't find very interesting, and I'm willing to bet you won't either. As for those suggestions I mentioned earlier, there's a pretty clear pattern that every time you enter a new area, a time where you typically want to get your bearings and explore a bit, the game will instead corral you into specific missions, spots, or encounters, and it's all just so unnecessary because it counters the experience that the game presents. A lonely, dangerous, but free zone. I mean, I want to explore, I want to survive and discover the groups on my own, maybe develop some organic allegiance within the world. But instead, they constantly berate me to help out against bandits or help out against the military. For this one area, as soon as it loads, this asshole is here waving at me to help out. He even does it if I don't have a mission telling me who he is. Why does he even think I'm willing to help? God, just get out of here. And what sucks the most about this corralling is that the weapons in the beginning of the game are just horrible. and it makes any human encounters pretty painful. You'll experience jams, times when enemies take way more shots than it seems like they should, times when you have no consistent ammo source, and just terribly random accuracy with all guns. I would totally understand if someone just dropped the game due to the pacing in the first few hours. It can be that bad. And it's a real shame because if the game just started out more open, like if it inverted the nature of its introduction with the in-game a bit, or pushed the main mission slower, it would be so much more approachable, organic, and overall more fun. You get to walk around an area and see the geography, find out more organically what groups do and what they're capable of, and establish some kind of kit on your own before being forced to make quick decisions about whether to engage a particular faction. If you go install Stalker right now, it's possible that the game won't even start. And if it does, you'll probably see this. A lot. You'll see monsters blocked by invisible walls, AI that somehow knows exactly where you are for seemingly no reason, other AI that thinks you're in the ceiling, other AI that thinks you're in the floor. You'll see a shit ton of broken AI. If you get shot, eat some bread, or maybe a salami. Oh yeah, and use a bandage if you see this. Wait, did that just restore my health? Bandages restore health? That makes no sense. When you're looting an enemy, they'll only have 5 bullets on them, but they'll have a seemingly infinite supply when they're shooting at you. You think the stealth system looks pretty good? Well, wait until you shoot someone and everyone on the map knows exactly where you are. What can I say? This game is just very bug prone, and you need to save a lot. And not just quick saves. Pause the game and make a unique save every 30 minutes or hour just in case. If you take anything away from this, you need to do this, especially with the 100 mods you'll want to install. But hey, remember, I didn't recommend it. If you do want to take a chance though, and you can deal with all the weirdness I've mentioned, and you find yourself deep in an old Soviet lab, you might just experience what makes this game so unique and what makes it all worth it. Just don't say I didn't warn you.